What's good, everybody? Rhetorical question. Life. My name is Heavy Bree, and welcome back to my channel. No, wait, that was the wrong one. Welcome to my channel. And if this is your 14th time on my channel, welcome back. Saying welcome back twice sounds kind of awkward, but you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm just winging it right now, man. I'm back. So as you can see, I am back on the road. Yep, Heavy Bree is back in his element, man. I'm back in the truck. I'm back on the road. And you know what, man? Because, I'm not gonna lie, man. I tried. I gave it my all. I tried to do the whole 9 to 5 thing. I tried to do something else because, you know, for those of you who don't know, you probably do know, or because you're I mention it probably once every 15 or 20 videos. Yeah, I was in the service for about 9 years. 9 years, 11 months. It would have been it would have been longer, but they wanted me to extend for something, and I was like, no, I'm done. I tap out. I'm done. I'm ready to be a civilian. So yeah, when you're in the military, you get college for free. Okay, so they pay for your college, about 36 months of all of your higher education, and so I had no interest of going to school when I got out. I had no interest of going to school now. I mean, I don't know. I might, maybe later on. I don't know yet. But that's neither here nor there. So I used my GI Bill to go to school for 9 months. It was a welding program at UTI, Universal Technical Institute, over in Long Beach. And I went there, you know, just because, you know, I had just, I'm gonna keep it real. I got let go from my last truck driving job, Central Oregon Truck Company. It's over in Oregon. Good company. I just, they gave me way too many warnings. I hit a curb. That's a big no-no over there. So I hit a curb. Somebody, I guess it was either somebody who lived over there saw me hit the curb, and they reported it, and then they reported the truck number, and then that's what got me let go. Yeah, they're very picky, but it's a good company. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of, sort of a good company, but we'll talk about that later. But so after I got let go from Central Oregon, I went to school for 9 months, welding school. And why did I go for welding? Well, I don't know, man. Everyone said there was a lot of jobs in welding. There's a lot of opportunities in welding. Welding pays very good, and you know it does. There's a lot of opportunities in welding. There are a lot of opportunities in welding. But it kind of reminded me of when I was in high school, and everyone was taking these vocational classes to become RN. I mean, not RNs, but a nurse, a NA, a nurse assistant or whatever. And a lot of people was it RN, is it CNA? Yeah, CNA. So everyone was going to school to become a CNA. And back when I was in high school, and I knew people whose parents, cousins, older sisters were, and older siblings were nurses. And when they would tell me what they did on a daily basis, I knew for a fact that, hey, I don't want to deal with blood. I don't want to deal with poop. So, and my mom had told me to go to school back when I was in high school. She said, oh, they got nurses aid, you should become a CNA or something like that. I'm like, I don't really like hospitals, man. I don't like hospitals. And all right, let me get to the point. So I go to welding school for 9 months. I graduate the program, and then I go work at this company. It's a fuck it, I'll just say it. I was working at SpaceX over in Hawthorne, and I'm not gonna crap on it and everything, because SpaceX did offer great benefits. SpaceX is a decent job because of the benefits, company stock options, all that good stuff. But I went to school for 9 months to be a welder. And when I applied for the job, I was applying for a TIG position. So TIG welding is like is a tungsten inert gas, and I applied for that position. I didn't do well at it. Not gonna lie, man, I'm not good. I was not good at welding. Welding was not my thing. I wasn't good at it, but I didn't quit the class because I was like, you know what, man, like I quit things so much. And I was like, hey, like I don't want to quit this. You know, I'm gonna get through this schooling, and I'm going to, like, you know, try and like pass. I'm gonna pass this. Okay, I'm gonna get through this. I know it's hard, I know it's difficult, but I'm gonna get through this. I got through the program. You know, I got through the welding program and I got the job, and then like the school offered, like, you know, has recruiting from SpaceX to go work over at SpaceX as an orbital tube welder or a TIG welder. So TIG welding is you're using tungsten inert gas. You're pretty much welding, like it's sewing with a tungsten rod. Anyway, I didn't do well enough on that test. So they said they had another position called orbital tube welding. Orbital tube welding is where you're making tubes for rockets. You're making the tubes and like all that stuff for the rocket systems and everything. And that's what I was doing. And I'm not gonna lie, man. It's like it's not a bad job. Okay, it really isn't. If you like to weld, if you're into welding and you're a person who, like, you know, doesn't mind working 12 hours on, 12 hours off, 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week, depending on the schedule and everything. You don't mind working, you know, indoors and working around other people and all that good stuff. If you don't mind that, it's a pretty good job. I'm not gonna lie. It is a good job for most people. It wasn't a good job for me. One, I'm not good at welding. You know, I just wasn't good at it, man. And like I could have stayed, I could have got better at it, but you know, man, the road was calling, bro. Honestly, like I only got into the welding school and did the welding thing because I was like, you know what? I had this GI Bill. Let me try going to school and trying to do. I'm not going to go to college. I'm not going to go to culinary school. I'm not gonna go to so I might as well use this GI Bill for something. So I used it for welding. Will I use it for something else in the future? Maybe. I don't know yet. I don't know. Who knows what the future holds for me. So I so yeah, so pretty much I quit welding, you know. But before I quit, I knew I was gonna quit about 3 months into the job. Okay, like I said, like the job is not bad. It is rough. It's 12 hours, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Sometimes they have random hours where you're working like 12 hour. You're working like six 12-hour days. Sometimes you never know what your schedule is going to be. Okay, and like in truck driving, you never know what your schedule is going to be either. But you know, with truck driving, it's an adventure. With truck driving, you get to see new places every day. With truck driving, you can pretty much you don't really work whenever you want, but like I like the randomness of trucking because it's mostly just you're traveling, you're seeing new places, you get to be on the road, you get to work by yourself, you get to drive how you want to drive, go where you want to. Well, you're not going where you want to go, but you get to drive where you want to drive. And when you get time, and then you know when you're off, you're off. Okay, some people like majority of people prefer the whole working 5 days a week and then having 2 days off. I don't. Well, that's not me. And like, if y'all know me already, like, I don't got a bad thing to say about trucking. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, could it be better? Oh, of course it could be better. The pay could be better for the amount of time they're asking people to be out here on the road, especially company drivers. The pay could be a lot better. But I could also become an owner operator too, if I wanted to. So, and like, you know, with fuel prices, and I mean, it's always the fuel prices are always gonna be bad. The market's always gonna be crazy. But like, you know, I mean, like, I'm not, like I said, I'm not an owner operator. I'm not thinking about being an owner operator anytime soon. But like, long story short, I came back to trucking, you know, and before I came back to trucking, like I said, 3 months into the job. The first month I was there, I was like optimistic. I was giving it my all and everything. Second month, second month, same thing, but like my enthusiasm was starting to drain away. By the third month, I was like, man, I'm not really feeling it here, bro. I just can't, it's just the same. And like everyone says, like every job can be repetitive. Every job can be repetitive to a certain extent, you know. But after a while, you're like, man, this again, and then it's like the emotional toll that it's like it's like it just drains away, man. And then like the people you're working around, I'm not hating on all the people, but like it's like it's like there's no, it's just not fun, okay. For me, trucking is fun. I like truck driving. I like being out here on the road. I like sleeping anywhere. Like it's like it's like a very long camping trip is what trucking is to me, you know. I mean, I ain't never been camping before, but I would imagine it'd be kind of like this. You know, sometimes you're gonna stop. I mean, sometimes you're gonna be stopped at a truck stop, and sometimes you'll be sleeping on the side of the road, like in the middle of nowhere, like what I'm doing right now. You know. But for some people, like that can be kind of like what the hell, man. For some people, that might not be their thing, but for me, it is. I like the independence of being out on the road. I like the freedom of driving, going all over the place, seeing this beautiful country of ours. I like I like working by myself too, man. I really like being by myself and working by myself and getting things done on my own. You know, like it's like that self-reliance has always been a key feature of my personality. And like you don't get that working in a regular 9 to 5. In a regular 9 to 5, you gotta get along with other people. And I'm not saying like you gotta kind of pretend to like these people, man, or at least be sociable. And sometimes I'm sociable, and sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I prefer to just just come to work, do my job, be left alone. And then sometimes, if you're in a work environment, like high school. I know I'm kind of all over the place right now. I just got done driving like 10 out. Like I've been driving for like 10 and a half hours and everything. So high school, when people talk about high school, they talk about how, it's they talk about like, everyone in high school is petty. Everyone's always gossiping about everything. I can't wait to get out of high school and become an adult. And then you get into the workforce, or you get into your job, and you're like, why is everybody acting like this is high school? Because that's what life is. High school is preparing you for the work environment and for real life. In real life, you gotta deal with a lot of politics, a lot of like favoritism, a lot of just biases and everything. The people say that they're professionals, but then like if you don't say hi to them at work, or if you don't ask them about their weekend, or if you don't drive the same car as them, or if you don't do the same like activities as them, or if you have no relatability to the people you work with, especially your supervisors, if you have no relatability, like you're not gonna get far in your job, okay? I mean, if you're a hard worker, they'll probably promote you to a certain extent. They'll put you into a certain level, but they'll keep you at a plateau. And like they're not going to promote you higher up and everything. And then also you got to ask yourself when you're working at these jobs that these different companies, these different jobs and everything. Yeah, be like, what? Do I really want that? Like when I was in the service. I remember we stopped in a port, and we were having like beer on the pier. So like it was during COVID, and we had it was my ship, another ship, and a carrier. So it was the whole pier. It was a huge pier. So they had tents and places where you can go drink and dance and everything. And I don't know, man. Like I went around and asked a bunch of senior enlisted people, because I was enlisted when I was in. I asked a bunch of senior enlisted people, like E6s, E7s, they call it first first classes are E6s, E7s and above are chiefs. And I went around asking them, one of the things I miss about drinking is how like it's so easy to talk to people when like they've been drinking, you've been drinking, because a drunk man tells no tales. So I decided to go around and talk to a bunch of random senior enlisted people, first classes, chiefs, mostly the chiefs, because they're like the ones who are at the top of the food chain when it comes to enlisted service people in the Navy. And when I was talking to them, I was asking each of them, because most people in the military who stay in that long, like E6s, E7s, they stay in because, for three reasons. There's three reasons why a lot of them stay in. One is because they like their job. They really like their job. They're good at the job, or they like the job. They like the military. They like the structure. They like serving their country, all that good stuff. But that's very rare. It's very rare you're going to find somebody who actually really likes being in the military and stays in that long. Majority of the time, people stay in because for the benefits. The military offers a lot of great benefits, especially in the Navy. You offer a lot of great benefits and everything. We're not like the Marines and the Army, who are going into war zones and boots on ground and all that. Like the Navy, you're on a ship. So you're still in harm's way because you're in the middle of the ocean. The ship could sink, a submarine could come out of nowhere and blow us up or whatever. But it's you're not and it's still kind of a high stress environment. It really is still a high stress environment, but not because of the potential of death, but because living on a ship fucking sucks. I'm gonna be real. Like being when you're in the Navy, man, it's like some people like that life, and then some people are all like, when the fuck are we gonna pull into port? Like, we've been out here for 9, 10, 12 months. And during COVID, we were out there for 14, 15 months. And people, and there were people getting losing their mind and getting flown off the ship and everything. It was ridiculous. But I'll talk about that story in a later video. But the main point I'm trying to get at is, I went and talked to these senior enlisted people, and I asked all of them the same question. I asked them, hey chief, or hey so-and-so one, because their rate is their rate, and then one. So if it's a quartermaster, you'll say QM1. If they're a boatswain mate, you would say BM1. It's their rate, and then whatever rank they are. So anyway, I went around asking them hey, so if it wasn't for taking care of your wife and kids, the mortgage, your credit card debt, your car notes, the dog's food, paying for kids' college and everything. If you didn't have any of these responsibilities, would you have stayed in as long as you did? Would you have stayed in the military or the Navy as long as you did? I asked all of them this. And I asked them all. I asked preferably the ones who had been drinking, because not everybody on the pier was drinking, but the ones who were drinking, I was having a beer with. Those were the ones who I was asking. And I'm not going to say how many said no, but the majority of them said no. And then, of course, a few of them, the few that did say yeah, were kind of beating around the bush. They were like, yeah, it's tough some days, but you got to do the job. Who else is going to do it? And but you could tell, the way that, if you had seen how they were saying it, they're like, yeah, I kind of would stay. And they were kind of half-assing it. You could tell. And then some of them would crack and be like, now that I think about it, not really. If I didn't have my alimony that I was paying the wife and the child support, I would have got out of this place years ago. Or if I didn't buy that brand new house in wherever I live at and had that mortgage, I would have been got out. Most of them said that. And I don't have any kids. I don't have a wife. I'm not, I don't have a home. I don't have a house. I don't have any major responsibilities. I'm in a very rare predicament that for a guy of my age. Okay, like I have like freedom to do whatever I want and do whatever I please, and so like after having those conversations on the pier and everything with those people, I started thinking like, man, like, why am I here? Why am I still in the military? And it's like, yeah, if I do 10 more years I can retire, but like, I don't really like it here. And why am I forcing myself to be somewhere that I don't like? I mean, majority of the people, they stay in because they have debts, they have children they have to take care of, they have a mortgage, they got a family to take care of, they got responsibilities. I don't have any responsibilities, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, but like, I don't think a person who has any if you have the freedom, and this is for anybody, I don't care if you're old or young, if you have the freedom to do whatever it is you want, you should do that. You have every right to be selfish as long as you're not an asshole. Okay, it's okay to be selfish as long as you're not an asshole. Now, if you like have children, or if you have a family, you have responsibilities, and you just say, forget all that, forget all that, we ball, then that's when it becomes a problem, and that's when you're an asshole. But like, I mean, you can still be an asshole and not have none of those responsibilities and still be an asshole, man. Like, shit, like. My friends and people I know call me an asshole all the time. But like, all I'm saying is that like if you have the freedom to do whatever you want, do whatever you want. Don't ever feel like you're trapped, that you gotta be somewhere or be trapped somewhere just because that's what is expected of you. Because a lot of times, a lot of us in society, we stick with jobs and careers and lifestyles that we don't really like and we don't not really feeling, but we stick with them because we feel like we have to, because we're pressured by the people around us, because we're pressured by like society's expectation of us. And if we don't do it, then we fear being judged and everything. I don't like, look, man, like, you can judge me all you want. I don't care who judges me and everything, but like, at the end of the day, I'm gonna live my life how I'm gonna live my life. If I want to be if I want to like have kids, I'll have. If I want to have kids, like, I could like, then I'll have to do a whole I'll do a whole 180 and do something and fix that. But like, and if I want to get married, like, that whole mindset will change. Right now, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. I don't want none of the conventional stuff that everybody else is aspiring for, which really isn't what they really want. It's what's expected of them. Everyone is doing what's expected of them. I do whatever I want, and I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to brag or anything. I just believe that when this life is very short, and you got to spend it doing things that are worthwhile. You have to spend your life doing things that you enjoy. I'm not saying be entirely hedonistic and neglect discipline and all that, but you should live your life how you want to live your life, and you shouldn't let anyone else dictate to you how to live your life and what to do. All right, you have the power. The ball is in your court. You have the power to dictate your future, based on your actions, based on what you choose to dedicate your life to. And you should never just do something just because you want to check like boxes. You want to put checks in a box, because that's what I see a lot of people doing, man. My whole life, that's what people think adulthood is. Everyone thinks adulthood is that you have to do these things. You have to get a credit card. You have to finance a car. You have to buy a house. You have to have children. You have to get married. You don't have to do nothing but do it. You don't have to do nothing but whatever the hell you want to do. And like, when people live that way, it's like, because like, I see so many people like living their lives according to what everyone else expects of them. And when they do that, they just end up being stuck in this. They end up being stuck in this like paradox. No, this repetitive, vicious cycle. Yeah, this vicious cycle, man. They end up being stuck in this vicious cycle of just doing stuff that brings them no joy. Out here on the road, no matter how many states I go to, no matter how many places I go to, no matter what weather I run into, I mean, honestly, man, like no day in trucking is the same day. You learn something new every single day. You learn like you learn new things about your ELD system. You learn new things about the road. Like sometimes the roads get like this road right here wasn't paved like a year or two ago. It was all messed up, man. Like, and it looks like they just worked on it, man. Or like you'll see new truck stops on the road, or you'll see new people on the road and new trucks, and like you just see new things every single day in this job. And I like that randomness. I like that that spontaneity and everything. I like how like everywhere I go, things don't stay the same. Things are always changing. There's always something new. And like I don't care if you've been on the road for 10 years, 15 years, 2 years, 20 years, like, you know, like 1 year, 6 months, whatever. You're gonna see something new every time you come out here on the road. And I see new things all the time and everything. And like honestly, man, to be real, bro, I really do miss it out here, bro. I really miss this, man. I miss this being out, just driving by myself, listening to music, listening to podcasts. Sometimes I don't listen to anything at all. So sometimes I'll just like cut the music off, roll the windows down, and just listen to the wind or listen to the trucks roll by, and just sit with my thoughts, you know. And or just talk to myself and come up with like weird ideas and then write them in my notebook, you know. I mean, that's what I enjoy, and it never gets boring, you know, because like my decision, like I'm glad I made the decision I made last year to go to school and get into welding, and you know, because it showed me that I don't belong in a 9 to 5. I don't belong in a regular job. I belong out here on the road, running every day and just hitting these miles and, you know, and making enough money to, like, you know, not have to worry about money and just living my best life, you know, man. And I think everyone should do that. I think everyone should find their thing that they like to do, especially if you're in your like your late teens or early 20s, bro, get out there and explore. Don't attach yourself to it. Don't let your parents or anybody scare you into like not going after whatever it is you really want to do. I'm not saying go out and be a rock star. I'm not saying go out and be a trucker. I'm not saying go out and be an actor or influencer or whatever it is. I'm saying if you know there's something that you really want to do with your life, you're probably not gonna know what you think your purpose is. But if you say like, hey, that looks interesting, I always wanted to try that, go do it. Go try it out. You might like it. And if you don't like it, then there's always something new. Some people think that like bouncing around from job to job is like, you know, that's terrible because, you know, you're not gonna get Social Security or whatever it is. Bro, listen, man, there are people right now who are in their 70s and in their 60s and like, you know, who are in their 80s and they're still working. So that whole thing about Social Security and all that stuff like that, bro, like by the time I'm old, the retirement just went up. I think it went up to like 68 or 70 or something like that. I don't know, man. All I know is that by the time I'm eligible for retirement or like not retirement, by the time I'm eligible for like any kind of Social Security, it's not going to be enough to survive out here with inflation going up and like Social Security like just plateauing. By the time I get to that age of, you know, being in a walker or, you know, just being old and everything, bro, I'm gonna like, bro, like I'm probably gonna need to get a second job just to like survive. So I figure like, bro, like if I'm gonna get a second job just to survive, I might as well be doing something that I like doing. Being out here on the road, there's guys out. The oldest guy I saw out here was this black man from Georgia or Tennessee. I think he's from Georgia. Yeah, he was from Georgia. Anyway, this dude was like he looked like he was like he looked like he could be about 40 or in his early 50s, He was doing flatbed. He was doing flatbed, throwing straps, tarping, all that stuff. And he was like, like he needed a little bit of help and everything, but but for the most part, he had it. He was he was picking up this giant roll of tarp to put on top of his roll. I helped him out. I helped him out a little bit, but he was all like, but he had it. Appreciate it, young blood. He's an old black dude from Georgia, and I asked him how old he was, and bro, this guy, dude was like 74 years old. 74 years old. But he was in good shape though. He was in good shape. I could tell he was old, like maybe like late 40s, early 50s old, but I didn't expect him to be like 20. But like black don't crack unless you smoke it. And bro was like 74 years old out there tarp. And this is like 2, maybe 3 years ago. I don't know if he's still out there on the road, man. Shout out to OG, like from Georgia. Anyway, this dude was 74 years old, still out here rolling tarps, still out there like strapping loads on a flatbed trailer. And I'm 35. I'm gonna be 35 in about 2 weeks, bro. So I'm all like, man, like, if I gotta spend 40 years out here or 30 years out here, which I'm probably gonna have no choice because of like with inflation and Social Security being a joke, it'll probably it's gonna be a joke by the time I'm eligible. It's gonna be a freaking joke, man. So I'm like, if I'm gonna like work the rest of my life, I'm gonna work doing something that I actually like doing, because I like being alone. I like driving. I like traveling. I like seeing new places. I like figuring things out on my own and fixing things on my own and everything. And that's what like trucking offers you. It offers you that solitude and everything. So you find your thing. You find your trucking, okay? If you love math and you want to become a mathematician, bro, go to college and become a mathematician. If you like helping people and you don't mind pee and poop and blood and you want to help people, go become a nurse. If you want to become a nurse, if you love getting your hands greasy and dirty and you don't mind getting oil all over your body and working in a sweaty hot shop and everything, bro, become a mechanic. And if you have if you've always been a creative expressional person and everything who likes to go up and perform in front of people and everything, become a performing artist, acting, music, whatever it is you want to do. And if you love tech, if you geek out over tech, get into tech. Don't let anyone tell you and dictate to you how you should get it done. And don't ever let anyone talk you out of your dreams. When I got in a truck driving, people said, "Oh, you're gonna get hemorrhoids, you're gonna get back pains, and all that stuff." Like, bro, you see this? You see this thing right here? See this right here? This right here? This little cushion right here I have right here. Yeah. So this cushion I have right here, this thing right here keeps me hemorrhoid free. This thing right here, this little memory foam thing, that thing keeps my back. It keeps my back like perfect, bro, I can still stretch, I can still run, I can still bend and everything, So if you're a trucker and you're watching this, if you're a truck driver and you made it this far by some miracle, damn, 33 minutes I've been talking, but yeah, if you have like back pains or just if you feel like your butt's falling asleep, yeah, get one of those, man. It feels like heaven. Anyway, so my overall message for this video is, don't stop trying new things, man. Don't let anything stop you from trying something out. Because if you try something and you realize that it's not for you, then, so what, you failed. So what, you gave up. But you got to just keep trying things until you find your thing, I was a security guard. I was in the military. And then I became a truck driver because every other job that I looked at didn't appeal to me. I wasn't about to go work in no warehouse and everything. I wasn't about to go flip burgers because if somebody yells at me because I forgot their pickles, they're I'm gonna throw orange soda in their face. And I'm not gonna just go to college because it's bro, I already did 12 years of school, man. Why am I gonna go back for 4 more? And then end up $200,000 in debt. Forget that. Sure, I'm gonna go hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt. It's gonna be doing something that I like doing, like maybe buying a truck, maybe probably buying a truck or something like that. I don't know, but I want to thank you guys for watching these videos. If you stuck here to the end, by some miracle you made it all the way to the end, thank you all. If you guys like the content that I put out, or just like, hearing whatever I gotta talk about and all that, and you guys enjoy this stuff, please leave a like. Feel free to comment. I don't care what you say. It doesn't matter, man. It's the internet. Everybody has something to say. It's the world's porta potty that you draw, like, Dixon, and like, whatever political stuff you would like to put in the porta potty. I mean, this isn't a political channel, but whatever, man. You just like, if you hated the video, if you liked the video, leave a comment. If you really like the channel, you like the stuff that I be talking about, you can just go ahead and subscribe to the channel, man. Help it build, like, I saw I'm at 140 subscribers. That is crazy, man. I got 100 people who over 100 people subscribe to my channel just to hear me, blab on and BS about life and just being on the road, because like, I'm not going back to no 9 to 5 I'm not going back to no 9 to 5, bro. This is it for me. The trucking, driving, traveling, this is it for me, shoot, like, if I go, like, shoot, I mean, forget a college student loan, man. Like, as long as these robots don't take over, man, I'd rather just, like, as long as these robots don't take over, I mean, they do, but, and the robots are coming for all of us. But until then, I'm going to enjoy this. And when the robots kick me out of the truck, man, I don't know, who knows? Maybe I'll probably go be a sailor or something. I don't know, or become a pilot. So something that, as long as I get to travel and see the world and just see different places and everything, that's all that really matters, man. But thank you all for watching. Appreciate every single last one of you. Peace and blessings, and may all of you have a prosperous day.